everybody and welcome back to Miriam's channel. So today in this video I'm gonna carry on talking about our backpacking Thailand series. We already went through a bucket list and then we went through buying a ticket, and now the next thing that you want to do is book and look for accommodation. So in this video we're going to be talking about accommodation. I'm going to be talking about different types of accommodation, different price ranges, how to find accommodation, where to find accommodation, how to book accommodation, and everything I can possibly think about accommodation. It's going to be kind of to do with Thailand, but it isn't just to do with Thailand, it's to do with any backpacking trip that you can think of, because accommodation is one of the most important things to do with any trip. So that's what I'll be talking about today. So after you know where you're going, let's just assume you looked around and you know all the places, towns, stuff like that that you'll be visiting. Obviously you're gonna look for accommodation in those cities. So let's for example take Thailand, because I'm gonna be traveling to Bangkok, Chiang Mai. I'm gonna be looking at accommodation in those towns, but not just in the main towns, but also in the smaller towns as well, to see, because without accommodation, where am I going to stay? So accommodation is very important. So there are three types of accommodation that I can currently think of to do with backpacking or any holiday really. So we have hostels, hotels, and Airbnb accommodation, so like a room or like rental accommodations. So I'm going to be starting off with hostels because that's where I'm going to be staying for majority of my journey. So there are two websites that I know of on which you can find hostels. First website is called Hostels World, which is very popular, easy to manage, easy to look online for hostels, just very organized and it's just very good website. And the other one, which I haven't used yet, is called Hostel Bookers, but I find that these two have majority of the same accommodations, so I don't think it matters that much which one you pick. Just go for any website or look at two websites and see yourself which one you prefer. When looking at hostels, I would definitely advise you to look at different things before you pick a hostel that you actually like. So whenever I'm looking at a hostel, the first thing I would definitely look for is a rating. So when you look on the Hostels World, there are different ratings for different hostels, and I wouldn't go anywhere below rate 8, because I find that below rate 8 they're kind of not so good. Then obviously you want to look at the things like location, because you don't want to be so far away, you want to be kind of close to everything. You might not always find the perfect hostel in the middle of the town, but if it's close to majority of things, or if it's a walking distance, then that's definitely what you should consider as well. Then look at pictures. If there's something that you like, then go for it, but just remember, pictures can lie. And the last thing that you should definitely look for in the hostel, if you're not sure about anything, it's obviously reviews. Whenever I go and look at reviews, I always go to the bad ones, just to see how bad the hostel was. And if I read something like people stole something or there was thieves involved, I will just not go there at all. The benefits of hostels are that the rooms are really cheap. The dorms, they usually are, and they hold about 6 people, 4 people, mixed ones, female ones, male ones, or sometimes even 8, which I don't know if I would recommend or not. But the price of them in Thailand is about £5 to about £14. You can get different prices, but it's generally cheap prices for hostels. The advantage of hostels is that there could be a lot of people, and if you're a person that likes to just keep themselves for themselves, you might not like hostels. And another thing that is that there might be thieves, so just look around you and just be careful with your belongings and put them in safety lockers, because I'm sure they should have some safety lockers. But another thing I also look for when I'm booking hostel is Wi-Fi availability, due to me recording videos and researching online and writing things and downloading videos. I also look for lockers. If the hostel doesn't have lockers, that's a no for me, because of the equipment I have, laptop, cameras, stuff like that. You just want to be safe. So for me, lockers is a must. And sometimes I also look for free breakfast, because why not just get free breakfast included in your hostel deal. Moving on to room rentals. The main website that I have for you is Airbnb. Very popular for backpackers, very popular for anyone really. And like I was saying, you can rent different rooms by locals in different towns, in different cities, and they're usually really nice. And why not just give your money to the locals? They need the money. rather than booking an expensive hotel or whatever. But that's totally up to you. You can definitely find a really interesting ones. Once I was looking at the website, I found like a tree house in Thailand, or there's just loads of different ones, especially in Thailand, that are quite cheap. So as we're talking about prices, they're a little bit more expensive than the hostels. I would say they're from like £7 to 20, 30. Well, they range in prices, but it's usually from about £7. So it's really cheap, but we're talking this is in Thailand. But I looked at the ones in different cities and different countries as well, and they were not that expensive. Plus, accommodation is of course hotels. So I usually use two websites which I find are very easy to use, and I just love these two websites. First of all is booking.com. It's just easy to manipulate. You can go from minimum amount to higher amount, different ratings, different pictures. It's just very easy to use, and you'll find loads of deals on it as well. And another one is of course TripAdvisor. Like TripAdvisor is just so popular, you can find anything there really, not just hostels, hotels and accommodation, but food, restaurants, activities. So TripAdvisor is like really known, a really good website. The price range when I was looking at Thailand was about £15 to about £30 average, which I guess is not too bad. But if you compare the maximum £30 and then you compare hostel price like £5 a day, obviously I'm gonna go for the cheaper one. But the advantage is that it's safer, it's like your own room, and yeah. And disadvantage is that it's obviously expensive. You cannot really meet anybody because everybody kind of minds their own business. But if you feel like you need a bit of peace to yourself, I would go for a hotel once in a while. That's probably what I'm going to be doing. So as I spoke about accommodation, now I'm going to be telling you what I actually did and how I planned it all. So what I actually did is I went on Hostels World, you know, the website that we were talking about, and each town that I wanted to go there, like every single town, I looked for hostels, and about 3 hostels each for each city. What I found out was that some of the cities that I wanted to go had like hardly any hostels, or the hostels were just very bad quality. So that meant for me that I either have to find an accommodation that is a room rental, or I had to find a hotel. And if I felt like those were too much money as well, I kind of considered it on my bucket list, and maybe because I don't want to be spending too much money, why should I go to one city for more expensive when I can go to another city for more days for cheaper, if you get what I mean. Then I looked for at least 1 to 2 hotels and for at least 1 to 2 Airbnb room rentals. But that of course depends on the location. If you're talking about something big like Bangkok, I'm not going to be looking for hotels there because there's probably thousands of them. So when I arrive, I can just look when I'm there. But if it's something less popular and you can't really find anything, I would advise you looking for accommodation before you go. So when you have everything written down, you can then just, when you go there, quickly see your list that you already looked at. You know exactly what you wanted, and you can simply book your accommodation there and then. It's easier. So I guess that's all the information for this video. I hope these tips kind of helped you to understand accommodation and what you should look for and where should you go and book it, and what to look for when you're booking an accommodation. Thank you for watching my video. I will see you soon. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, because there will be coming up more and more vlogs and more adventures. You know, I'm going to take you with me on this journey. Please like this video because that really helps me. If you just press that like button for me, please. And yeah, I guess I'll just see you in my next video. So yeah, bye.